Hello.
Get ready to run those grunions, people, because we're finishing up an adventure. Welcome to the table. We are playing our final session. I think we've decided that, right? Like, we are playing our final session of this round of Kingdom, second edition by Lame Mage Productions, written by Ben Robbins, my boy. Such a fun game. We thought this might be a one-off, maybe a two-off. We're on session 85, 86 now, something like that. It's so fun. We are, if you're familiar with this, although maybe you should, if you're coming at the first time, if you're watching live, I love you. If you're watching the video, you might want to not start at this episode. I'm just putting that out there. Unless you heard that something so unbelievably wonderful happens, you just have to wait for that one part. It's gonna happen.
Or if you really like stories out of order, then you should start here also.
That's fun.
We're
Choose
not
your
gonna
own
judge
adventure.
you. You do you.
Is there music playing right now? I just need to know this for my own.
There's no music playing right now.
Come on,
Now
we need the good music. There is music? Oh, there is.
This is a GM-less game. I am simply the facilitator, although at this point we've all played the game, so we all kind of know the rules. We are in the middle of a crossroads, which are kind of like, I don't know, same as a story arc, right? We've done 2 of the 5 scenes for this crossroad, and we are trying to determine if this area that has risen and fallen a bit through the course of this game, Grunion Run, now called Gold Run. We're deciding if we're gonna commit this land to being farmland going forward. We'll get subsidized by the city, the broader city of Parsa, but we might be giving up some things as well if we decide to do that. Who had scenes so far? I'm trying to. I think I had the last scene.
I'm pretty sure I had the first one with Mike's new character.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
I had a doozy of a scene with Fausta Feder.
Fausta Feder, yes.
I just remember that.
Completely went ham on Honeywell.
Well, I will say, the setup for that scene, which I loved, was that Honeywell was going to be having a... Ooh, hello, cat person. Honeywell was going to be having a party that she was going to be hosting. Fausta Feder was coming to her in anticipation of that party. Maybe, offering some decorations and favors and such. And I would love to have that party scene, but I'm not going to pressure you if you think we want to do something else first.
Well, my only concern so far is that I'd love to do the party scene, but my concern is we don't have any consequences yet, and it's the 3rd scene in the arc, so there's no... I don't know whose perspective, but we have to figure out some shit that's going to happen.
So I am perspective, and we only have 2. And the reason for that is none of the scenes have mentioned the fucking farmland at all. So it's really difficult to...
That's not true, my friend. That's not true. So
the first one.
And also, it's your job to mention the farmland. Your perspective. It's not our job to make you do that.
I'm sorry. I was busy being, like, dosed with fucking bath salts.
I'm not saying... I'm not saying that's your fault, but I'm saying now I think we need to have those consequences to do more scenes. If we don't have them, we're missing an entire pillar of the game. Game with a fucking note sheet is certain, okay? I had like fucking 9 bullet points for each one.
I can't live up to that, man. You know.
No, I know, but I'm saying in order for this to have stakes here, we have to have consequences. We just don't. Right now, we only have dead will be found and gonna have a problem with rats, and I just don't think that's enough to go on at this point.
So feed me shit in the scenes. I want to hear how people feel about the farms, and then we'll add some consequences.
Oh yeah, you're the touchstone, Mike. How do the people feel?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, though, is I can do that, but how do I feel? I'm not informed of my choice. I feel like, I mean, I could do that, but I just don't know what the...
Yeah.
So...
Like, I don't know what I don't know what we're choosing between here.
It's kind of like rock, paper, scissors, because I need to hear what Power wants to do in order to figure out what the consequences of that are going to be, in order for you to figure out how the people feel about it.
So,
the interesting thing with this is that we have 2 different people playing Power. Now, Fausta Feder, who is playing a Power character, would like to he'd like to have this party to maybe elucidate a little bit on his expectations.
You think you're fucking invited? Please.
Crashing it, baby. He's crashing it. I'm sorry, is Fausta, what's the pronouns for Fausta?
He goes by he, him, or they, them.
Okay.
So depending on yeah, there are different aspects to Fausta that willing to embody.
So, in the scene, what I would like to see, as far as major characters, I would like to have a last-minute invitation delivered to Auntie Talk, or ex-Auntie Talk, because I think you'll need to know about this. And Glinda is like a poor student, right? But Mama Mello should be a performer at the party. We booked her for a private. Is she still alive? Yeah, she is, right?
Yes, she is. She never
No,
dies.
what kind of question is that for a lady?
She will never die. Canonically
Alive
speaking,
and
she
kicking,
can't.
darling.
Yeah.
Alive and kicking.
So Matt, if you want to like crash as Fausta, you know, as Power, you can do that. Just you're
Like
not
the
on the
fucking
fucking
Joker.
guest list at all.
I'm just a door-to-door salesman, so
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
I wouldn't expect to be invited to your illustrious party.
Good. All right, so kicking it off, Honeywell is picked up off the floor by the two guards who did not follow her into that room, sitting room or whatever. And she is like super mixed, tumultuous emotions going through her head. And she looks at these two. Get your hands off me! What do you think you're doing? Where were you? I needed you in here. That fucker dosed me. You're both fired. Actually, get out right now. You're out of here. I'm not joking. Out the door.
Oh, sorry, I thought
So
it
she
was funny.
watches them get going, and she steps out, snapping her fingers like, hey, "Who's around? Who's around? You, go get an invitation to Auntie Talk, like that, quickly, and let Mama Mela know I'm gonna need to see her privately first, before the performance, and get on TV as well. We're gonna have to have both aunties here."
Fuck.
And she's got like snot down her face. She like runs off to a powder room to fix herself up. And the party's like imminent. This was really not the right time. And as she gets in the party room, she like is looking in the mirror, and she finally has a moment to breathe. And a giant smile blossoms onto her face, and she goes, "This motherfucker somehow managed to develop a strain of dream that doesn't kill you. God damn it, we're gonna be back in business." And she waits for the guests to arrive.
So you're telling me I killed off Elizabeth with Dream just before it was a safe one was invited?
Isn't that poetic though?
Wow.
He's got something. He's got something. Might not be mass distribution. You know, we don't know what's happening there.
You're right.
Yeah, we'll clarify that.
All right.
So, whoever wants to arrive.
Auntie Talk comes in, like tippy tapping, you know, she walks fast, she's a little goblin, with firecrackers out the wazoo in her arms, and she's like, "I heard there was a party!"
Yes, darling, come on in.
You'll see, us goblins, we have the best light shows you've ever seen.
I'm sure, just not inside, alright? Do it outdoors.
What do you mean? It's the most fun inside.
Oh, alright. Just
And
don't blow up my vase.
No.
Always falling around
Of
talk. I
course.
think Jean-Luc comes up
Of
too, and he
course.
says, big armfuls loose falling off of him as he walks. He goes, "I brought lollipops."
He bought lollipops.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great. Thanks.
Yeah, your guest will
Uh,
thank me later.
Excellent. Listen, Talk. We gotta talk. On TV should be here any minute.
I'm
I
good at
know
talking,
you don't
you
see.
know?
That's why they call you Talk.
Yeah.
I know you don't see eye to eye with On TV, but we're gonna have to set that aside because I got some important information to share. I had a bit of an ordeal earlier.
And you want to talk to me about it?
Well, you sort of run the place now, don't you? Now that I'm retired.
Oh, so you want my opinion?
Yeah, you could say that. Your
Okay.
opinion.
And she suddenly feels very important because she has official like validation.
Oh, there's Mama Mello coming in. Mama, how are you?
Oh, well, darling, you know, in these days, lucky not to be covered in shit on the streets.
Oh no, that bad, huh?
Really come down in the world lately. Morgan, it's not quite the same as it used to be around here.
Yeah, what have you been thinking about those rumors with demolishing all the buildings instead of building them back up and farming vegetables or something?
To be honest, I don't really care one way or the other. I'm not long for this is part of my last show on the run. I'm making my way to the university, you see.
Oh, big plans, huh?
Wow, all the important people are moving there. That's crazy.
But wait a minute, are you going to be performing or are you going to be educating?
A little bit of both. There's more money to be made up in that part of town. Around here, it's not quite profitable for a performer like me to put on a show.
Yeah. If only there was something we could do about that. But never mind. You feel free. Get ready. Refreshments. You know where the green room
wait,
is.
I just had the idea of a lifetime. Did you see this big plot of land that's like south of the lake? That's huge, right?
I think she ignores talk and keeps on walking. Like, I don't think she actually pays any attention to talk at all.
Oh, okay.
Just carries herself like totally fucking like doesn't even look back.
Oh, don't worry about her. She's got to get into character. I
Yeah.
was listening though. What's your big idea?
Oh, I don't know if you're gonna be interested because it was for her, you know. But
No.
but if you're interested, I mean, imagine this huge scene with spotlights and fireworks every. What's the equivalent of Sunday, Matt?
What's the that's such a good question.
And
Are there
imagine
custom days of the week in Midland?
There are definitely custom days of the week.
and imagine fireworks
Clicking
every equivalent days of
furious.
Sundays. and
Tuss.
Tuss.
Sunday is Tuss.
So imagine fireworks every Tuss and festivities, but nice ones, cause no drugs anymore.
Okay, so like outdoor music festivals.
Festival, that's the word.
Okay. That's an interesting one.
Yeah,
Tuss, huh?
yeah.
Good thing it's not on Kund.
Kund.
Oh, Kund. Sorry.
Did you say cunts?
No, did you? What? All right. At this point, if on TV has arrived.
Oh, my back is aching. What have you called me up here for, Honeywell?
Called you up here to party. On TV.
Party? Why? What is there to celebrate?
Oh, there's
these
something to
days?
celebrate. Come with me, and she'll lead you guys down this like stone staircase that's lit with whatever oil lamps down into like a basement. There's a bar. There's like a pool table. There's stands of armor and like all the accoutrement of like a totally lavish and tacky like medieval games room. Basically.
You ever dueled in one of these pieces?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
What are you? I wouldn't get my hands dirty like that.
Well, why do you own them?
To look at. Look how funny they are. Look at this helmet, and she'll like open and close the.
That is pretty funny.
Also, at one of my parties, I would hide like servants in there so that they would scare the guests. It was like one of those, whatever the equivalent of Halloween is in this town.
Matt, what's
But
the
anyway,
equivalent of Halloween?
So you've come down. You've had me come down here to show me this dungeon of yours.
No, I came down here because it's a comfortable place to sit and have a drink and discuss, and also away from prying ears. Except that Jean-Luc fella, right? He can.
He's
stay.
good. He's good. Jean-Luc, tell him you're good. Tell her you're good.
I'm gonna stay upstairs and pass out lollipops.
Just don't let anyone come down here, though.
Okay.
Bye,
Here's a
Jean-Luc.
Especially if
lollipop.
you see
Go
the-
away.
A freaking what did he look like? What was he?
Here's a lollipop.
stork.
Go away.
Yeah, don't let any storks down here, okay?
This
Yeah,
guy
this
looks like a
stork was-
dork. Here's a lollipop. Go away.
Good.
Can I
Anyway,
ask
so-
you something, Honeywell? Do you mind if I ask you something?
And of course, on TV, anytime.
Why'd you just roll over when that orc came to town?
Rolled over.
You didn't even put up a fight. You just let this little nerfling run
Well,
you out of town.
Those are big words for someone that no one listens to these days.
Ladies, can we not dredge up old
Like,
dirt? Come
like
on.
he miser, coal miser.
It's water under the bridge. I hear what you're saying on TV, but first of all, our prices are 10 times higher than they ever were before. Talk, you don't know about this, but
No.
the supply chain's still intact. What do you got to complain about? That the
Are we
volumes
talking
aren't as
about
high?
fishes?
Yeah. Grunion.
Oh, nice.
No, Honeywell, is that we had a chance here to build a kingdom. And I'm looking around and all I see is shit.
Well, whoever named it Grunion Run in the first place kind of set it up, you know?
Well, it's a gold run now. Come on, let's get that.
Is that what you
Listen.
want? Is that what you want, Doc? For us to be farmers?
I want us to be recognized as good people.
Good. What the hell does that even mean, good
Yeah,
people?
what are you talking about? Talk?
Because you think it's fun that some humans decide one day to do a hate crime just because our skin is green?
Was that happening much?
Yeah,
When you
it's
ran
called
the town?
racism, Honeywell.
We're gonna grow them fucking potatoes and they're not gonna kill us no more?
Well,
Are you alright?
if we feed them, surely
If we feed them, do you want to be their fucking servant, Talk? Oh, master, here's your spinach on a silver plate. Fuck that.
So what's your idea of being
Let's
good
fuck
people?
them up and make money.
Perfect segue. You've always been good at segues on TV. So, I was accosted earlier. It was actually quite stressful. It was a home invasion situation. I gotta
Oh wow, that's serious.
call the brigadier or something about this stork fellow. Well, he barges in. He pretends that he's selling cleaning products. Gets me in a room alone. And then what does he do? He pulls out like a bag of what I don't know what, some powder, and blows it in my face. And just like that, I'm in a dream. I'm like, I have a 40-year lifespan life in the span of a minute.
What did you dream
You-
about?
It was a whole like second life from cradle to grave. It was unbelievable, scary. I lost. It was. It's impossible to explain. You've never done Dream, have you? And neither had I until that day. And yet here I am. So what does that tell you?
Well,
You guys want lollipops down there? I could throw some down.
Yeah, please. I'll take the orange one.
like 50 lollipops just go like cascade down the stairway.
Why do you
Don't pay
employ
any
that
attention
grunt?
to them on T. You hear what I'm saying to you?
Nice.
No, I don't, Honeywell, because this is your problem, okay? Dream sells because it kills you.
But that's nuts. Why would you ever buy that then? I'm telling you, you can have
don't
all
know
the
that
fun
yet,
with
kid.
none of the consequences.
Hey,
All the fun.
hey,
Do you
why
wanna do
are
that
we talking
again
about
right now?
drugs? We just banned
Do you
them.
want to? Do you want to pick Dream again right now? Is that what you
Not
want
right
after
now.
all that?
We're about to have a party, but
Do you want
tomorrow.
to have another
why not?
life anytime soon?
Listen, I like my life. I'm not like one of these, mud sloppers out there wading through shit and farming potatoes, all right? They are gonna want another life every night if it doesn't kill them.
Hey, I just came here for the party, and suddenly all of my ideas are getting shit on. I don't understand what's going
Who's
on.
the producer of this new strain of Dream then?
Some crazy fuck called Fausta Feta. We gotta capture him and bring him in the basement, chain his little feet to the ground, and have him work for us.
Whoa.
Auntie, come on. It's just like any of the producers.
Why was I invited to this underworld crime
Because it's time for you to
meeting?
grow up, Talk. It's time for you to grow up and have a say in the future of this place.
Listen, Honeywells, we just banned drugs. It would be really dumb for me to be like, never mind.
You don't have to do that publicly. You can have both a public and private persona.
Okay, and
It's the
then we go
beauty of
back
the
to
run.
what we were. Everything's shitty. People are dead everywhere. There's crime rampant. People can't stay outside and stay safe.
What the hell? What are you talking about? None of that would happen.
That's what used to be before we banned them. And now you want to go back to that?
I mean, I'm the one who banned them, so no. I want to go to something new and better. Where the dream doesn't kill people. Where they got a different escape than violence. And where we can make money off it and invest it in this town and make it something big again.
Listen, my problem here is that I either turn lands into farm or not. I don't know why we're talking about drugs.
Because it's you can tear down all the buildings and invite a bunch of farmers here, and then there's your market. That's fine. Or keep the buildings up. And invite a bunch of priests or whatever to
What
take
I'm
residence.
saying to you is, Morgan, the dream is it's 1% of our profits.
Today.
Opium is where the money is. No, opium was where the money is. People don't want dream, they want opium. Everyone wants opium. They want opium more now than they did before that fucking orc showed up.
Don't they
Alright,
say that
I see
religion
I've,
is the opium of the people?
Even spree is more profitable than dream.
So I could turn all the farmland into places of worships.
Yeah, you know what? Here's an idea for you, Talk. You want a farm? Grow poppies.
The flowers?
Yeah.
Why?
Damn it, she doesn't even... you know what? I think I'm...
Me
I
as
think I'm done
Eve
here.
do not understand this one.
Opium's made from poppies.
It is?
You as- yeah.
The poppy seed bagel.
I love on TV, but I'm playing a character that's neither my major or my minor character, and I'm scared.
You're doing great.
Yeah, you're doing amazing.
No, but I'm
Morgan's
like...
All right, so she swirls her wine, disappointed in the reactions, slightly enjoying the drama between the two aunties that she managed to bring into one room together. And you know what? You're right. Let's just enjoy the singing, the party. Let's let off some firecrackers and blow off a little steam.
Yeah, I suggest you put your vases away. They'll definitely get tipped over.
That's okay. I'll just buy new ones.
Oh, cool.
And we'll head upstairs where there's like a stage set up in the rotunda underneath the big marble staircase, and there's like a quiet, classy accompanying band, and the lights kind of go low, and a what do you call it? A magnesium quick lamp is illuminated up on the second floor, and shines down onto Mama.
I'm sure.
Mama.
Sorry, Barry, you gonna say something?
Oh no, I was just as you walk up, John Luke's here's a lollipop. You got a lollipop for you. This one's purple.
Ew, they're the gross ones.
Thank you. What's your name again?
My name's John Luke.
Jean-Luc. Pleased to make your acquaintance. I'd love to take your pop.
Oh, what color do you want? I have a lot of oranges left. People don't seem to want orange.
Well, I'm sure we'll figure something out. And I'll just kiss on the cheek as I stroll up.
Oh.
And I think Mom is like a little bit more faded now. Like that's not a new dress. It's not a new dress. But she walks up to it and says, takes them. I don't know, not a microphone. I guess she just projects. She just projects. My baby's so charming. She's so disarming. Anyone can see. My baby's no joker. No small-time broker. Anything she wants, she can be. She's never said no to my pleading soul. Why won't my baby come back to me? Lizzie, please come back.
That's so sweet. That's
I'm actually
sad.
gonna cry. Why'd you do that to me? Oh, cheers to Lizzie.
There's like really polite applause, but it's like dense. Like it doesn't want to stop. Like it really resonates.
I'm
with the
actually
crowd.
teary-eyed, and I wasn't even like that attached to Lizzie.
Beautiful as ever, Mama.
Looking over around across the room, you see a stork like Aarakocra, doing, like hands above his head, snapping.
Like visibly, publicly, or like?
Oh yeah, pretty close to the stage, just kind of giving her daps.
Hey, Honeywells, you were talking about a bird person.
That's the
Yeah,
one.
that's the one. Hey,
Yeah.
Jean-Luc.
Yeah.
What did you say? We escort the Mister out.
Which mister?
The bird that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that. You mean the lollipop salesman?
You bought it. You bought them from him?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He had so many. I thought they'd be good for the
no.
party.
Oh no.
Did you haven't eaten one, have you, Talk?
Well, I have this one.
I look around the where the room we're in, the rotunda, to see how many lollipops are being consumed at the moment.
Well, I think a lot of people are eating lollipops. I think a really big, very friendly grung handed a lot of people lollipops as they walked into a party.
On TV, well, welcome to a demonstration.
Am I about to?
I will
trip
say
my
that
ass out?
Mom Ella would not have eaten a lollipop right before she goes to sing, because that would.
Sure.
fuck up
Yeah.
the
No,
whole story.
that makes sense.
Talk definitely ate hers. Tell me, Matt, what happens to me? I want
Well-
the full experience.
Fausta Feda is he steps up onto stage actually and turns and says, I need to Fausta Feda. I need to get these names that make me have the accent. What much? Such much? He says, "What a wonderful performance! Thank you so much, Mama Mello. And please, we should all raise a glass to our wonderful hosts, the former figurehead of this land, Morgan Honeywell." Yes, and there's like some sort of applause, and people lift up their. Yes, thank you. I was hoping to say just a few words. And some of you may know me. No, I am not here to sell you cleaning products. I assure you. And some of the Aarakocra kind of laugh like they know this guy a little bit. And he says, "I just want to say, this community, my community, is at a precipice, you see. For years, things were stagnating. We expand and things go up. And then decisions were made. Were made by a man who, charming though he was, left afterwards, not staying to live with the ramifications of the things he had chosen. Let us look at this. Many of you here, yes, many of you here. Mr. Las Golds, yeah. Many faces I see around the room have at one point or another worked for the same organization that I am employed by. Those of you that know, you know, yes. It was difficult for us, of course, when the underground was flooded. Many of our production facilities were swept away. But with the expansion of the run, we were able to grow and produce more and do more with it. And then certain things we were doing became outlawed, again by a man who left, not staying to help build that which he promised to build. Although you can't fault a man for wanting an education, you see. But now we are here. And I hear talk. And then when he says talk, he looks at you. Of turning this wonderful run into simple farmland? I don't understand this. Us, who should be on the map, who should be the envy of all of Parsa, right here along the coast of this beautiful lake, one of its kind here in the mountain range. And we are going to be farmland? Can you please for me just imagine for a moment what that would look like? And then talk. You're standing in a grassy field. And no one's around you. There are some people. You can see people, mostly like farming, that kind of thing. It looks almost pastoral. It's actually very pretty, and it's just rolling green hills, dotted with these rather expansive farms. They're all being worked on this bright, sunny day.
Who's working
along.
them?
Yeah, I think some people you know from around the run. You know what I mean? Like some people are working in like everyone's kind of, you know, see like kids like chasing after a chicken to go put it back in the coop because it got out, and the sun's glistening off the lake, and it looks rather pretty. But I think what, you know, everyone else that's here that maybe didn't have a lollipop sees is people looking around very like smiling or curious about how they ended up somewhere they don't seem to be seeing. Some people start bumping into each other because they don't see each other next to one another.
Whoa, watch it. And Honey will back away, not having imbibed the lollipop, so that she can observe.
And Fausta Feta will come and take that long, like, plague mask out from his satchel, and he will, just in front of everyone, just affix it over his face with these big goggles and this big nose as he just looks out over everyone. I talked for a while, so I want to give other people a chance to
I think
respond.
I think if anything, this is encouraging talk to proceed with the farmlands, because like, you know how I talked about envisioning the run as like this gray muddy area and seeing all this green, seeing the children run after the chicken and laughing. Like, this seems like a nice life to her. This seems like the good life. Like, she likes what she's seeing right now.
Back in reality, Morgan, like, elbows on TV, says, "You seen this? Check this out."
Auntie had a lollipop and is fully tripping right now.
Oh no, Auntie, really? You have a sweet tooth? And can Morgan, like, is on TV responsive at all to reality?
No, I think when people are in this vision, they're not responding at all to anything that's happening, even if you're like shaking them.
Okay.
I think Mama Mello sees this, like, dusts herself off. She goes up to Fausta. Herr Feder.
Yes, Fräulein.
I lost the love of my life to this. I've had all I can stand of dreams. I think she just walks out.
The lore is insane, Mike. You make me so happy right now.
I know.
Well, I mean, she worked with Lizzie and Lizzie alone for a very long time.
And then they were roommates.
They were just roommates and really good friends, guys. They were just really, really good friends. Yeah, it's a shame they never married, really. And I think Fausta, like, respectfully waits for Mama Mello to leave, and then turns back to the few people who did not eat a lollipop. I don't think there's very many. I think Jean-Luc, literally, his big grung tongue is out, and it has like a dozen lollipops just stuck to it, and she's just but I think there's, you know, Morgan, there's Laz Gold, who's sitting on a stool with his head bowed, looking defeated. And I think probably just a couple other people who are, I don't know, trying to watch their sugar intake or whatever.
So Morgan will walk around to any servant that ate a lollipop and rip the Honeywell badge off of the front of their jacket and toss them on the floor. And then she'll go and stand next to Lars.
Yeah. And Laz kind of doesn't say anything. He just kind of keeps his head down.
What's your problem?
I Man, I gotta say his name to get Losgold. There it is. It's... He's right, you know. They're right. It might look good, but you should never have given it up. It comes at too much of a risk.
What are you talking about? Look at this. He tried this on me earlier, and I'm here kicking. You think all these people are gonna die? No way.
No, you don't understand. Mr. Fedar is not the enemy here.
I'm not saying he is. He's the producer. He's the supplier. He's our godfather.
And Faustus says from across the stage, like yelling over people's heads, they're like milling about and bumping into one another. And he says, I'm sorry, Fausta Feda. I have to get into it, yeah. What you don't understand, but what I'm trying to illustrate, is that there are things that must be kept back. And if there is no reason to be here, those that keep them back will go somewhere else. And I
don't
think
know what this guy's fucking talking about.
talk
Hold back what?
talk in your vision, it changes a bit as like grunions start coming out of the water, like this big like floppy little fish come jumping out of the water, and people start running, just running fast and running quick and running away from the water as quickly as they can, as you realize the grunions are running from something, from these shadows that start clawing these shadowy figures that start clawing their way out of the water.
Oh god.
I mean,
These people aren't having fun anymore. What's going on in there?
They are seeing the truth. They are seeing what lies below.
How the hell do you know about that?
is this some Cthulhu shit?
Bobby Cthulhu.
I will leave you with this. Thank you for the party, Fraulein Honeywell. And he will just step down from the stage and slowly just start walking out, and making his way between people. And I think in the vision, the sky goes dark as these things are clawing their way out. And then they just start becoming like a rolling wave of shadows, and everyone kind of like turns and starts running. I don't know if Talk keeps looking, but eventually this shadowy wave just rolls over everyone, one by one, and they feel themselves being torn apart.
Did you just kill my character? I'm kidding.
Piece by piece. And Honeywell, I think you just hear them screaming. You hear the screams of everyone that's here being torn apart little bit by bit. And then as they die in the vision, they wake up in the real world. Most of them, I think, just collapsing onto the floor after what they've seen.
Are you alright? She'll go to some rando. who's
Not to
collapsed
me!
on the floor. Oh shit. Are you out of it now? Yeah, talk. Are you okay?
She pulls herself up using your shirt or whatever it is you're wearing. she's
Stretch the
she's so
fabric.
small. It's nothing. And then she looks at you, big eyes, and she actually hugs you. She's
what
not
the
letting
hell
go.
is this? Okay, she'll do like an awkward pat. She's like under her garments. She's so bony and skinny, Honeywell. It's like really unpleasant to hug her.
She still doesn't let go. And she's hugging you, she looks up, she's like, did we ever explore the ocean?
What ocean? That's a lake here.
Shit.
It's an ocean to a goblin.
Yeah. Did we ever explore the lake?
What? I don't know. I'm not much of a swimmer. What the hell are you talking about?
I think there's shadows in there.
Okay, dear. Yes.
Like
mhm.
they
John-
have tentacles. Is that the word in English?
That's
Jean
a
Luc.
word. Yeah.
Okay.
Honeywell's gonna start kicking Jean-Luc.
I don't like that. Well, the thought. I think
Clean-
it's something wrong with the lollipop.
Clean that garbage off your tongue and
Ah.
take this. Take this off me.
What do you
Um,
want?
Take your mistress off me.
Jean-Luc, carry me like you did when I was 2.
Oh, you poo! And I think he picks you up. It's a grung. He's a frog man. His tongue is really big and it's just totally flat. And he picks you up and holds you like a little baby. And I think his tongue is just flopping onto you, and it's
And
kind of gross.
I actually kind of scrub it because I want to get the lollipop off of it.
It's so many colors.
I know.
She's foul.
I
It's
know.
we're not at that stage of the party yet. What shadows? What the hell are you talking about?
Listen, it was beautiful. The run was actually green. Can you believe that? It was green. It was beautiful. There was butterflies. There was kids and chickens, and they were running after each other, but like in a cute way, right? And it was
That
really
sounds terrible.
I'm not done. And it was really nice, okay? And then I turned towards the ocean. I mean the lake, right? And then there's like big shadows that come out and on everyone.
No, that's not what happened.
No.
No,
What is
it was little shiny porcupines.
Wait,
What?
It was a bunch of little shiny porcupines that came out of the ground, and the little quills just poked into me, and then I died.
Did you actually? There wasn't any tentacles.
And so someone else is like, it was a bird. The birds, they came, they started pecking at my eyeballs. It was terrifying.
That's worse than what I saw.
Don't worry about any shadows in the lake. It's
And I
not
think
true, it's
everybody
just
has a
dream.
different story of what happened.
Everybody, calm down, and it's time to go. All right, party's over. Let's start clearing out. Get the hell out of here.
I guess people clear out. You see that Auntie V just literally had a heart attack and died during her life. He's very old.
Ha!
Damn it.
I outlived her.
It's gonna be such a mess.
Hey, there's a corpse in your house. Holy shit, that's dark.
Some servant who didn't take a lollipop will drape like a freaking tapestry over on TV. Try to shuttle her behind the bar or something. They'll send someone to get her. Yeah, and with everyone heading out and us having learned some more information, I think the scene ends there.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. The scene was great to play, but I'm very confused as to what it brought to the table for the main point that we're trying to play out. Actually, the end was better, more geared towards it, but my small
Yeah.
brain is confused.
Well, I'll be. I mean, one of the things Fausta wanted to do is tell you the way he's leaning
Mhm.
with what he's going to choose, and then also he was trying to convince Talk and everybody, but like player wise, Talk to
So-
go along with it.
So
and not
scared
go
her away from the farmland life thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Scared
that's,
straight.
It's like a fucked up field of dreams. If you farm here, demons will come for people.
yeah, that's that was. his
Aren't you supposed to be
point.
selling me fucking vacuums? Excuse me.
Cleaning products? Yes, Fausta Feather.
All right, so
I'm a chemical expert.
we have some updates. If we do commit to being farmland going forward, goblins will become farmers, and they won't be feared as less, but they also won't be respected or.
I will
Like,
say, sir, technically
the
the way the
screen.
game works is your character is supposed to say this stuff, and we have not met perspective yet. We have literally not met them. You've been playing Honeywell like it's your main character. She's had 2 scenes.
She is
Your
my main
actual-
It
character.
is the main Honeywell is the main character.
I thought that
No,
it was the other one was the main character.
No,
No, it's
Vasily's
my-
the. Yeah.
So whose perspective?
Honeywell.
Honeywell.
Oh, so Honeywell's been saying what then? That's going to be the consequences.
The shit that I'm fucking trying to write down.
Can you say it just so? Sorry, I don't.
Yeah, the
So-
viewer doesn't see it.
Yeah,
In
it's
the
very
previous
helpful to
episode-
type it for me, but
Yeah,
for-
that's
yeah.
what I'm trying for. So we have a religious friction impact if we do commit to going farmland, because there's tons of corpses in the houses and we'll need to do something with them. When we go forward with farmland, goblins will be farmers and won't be feared as much, and therefore they will lose their kind of back channel respect in town. They will just be seen as peasants. However, poppy production will be up, therefore opium will
Hey, I
flow
didn't
somewhere.
say yes to that.
Can't
Hey!
say it is. You don't get input on that. That's
Yeah,
only
yeah.
Honeywell who can say that.
Yeah.
Wait, but power decides what's being done, though.
But perspective says what will happen.
But can't I say, like, I want wheat to be planted?
You can. That's a mechanic that. What's the game designer, Matt? Plug them in here right now.
Yeah, that's correct. That's
Design
correct.
something for this.
No,
It's called
I'm
fighter
sorry.
fighters, right?
We only have the power to say yes or no. We have power, but I mean, if we're gonna end here, we're not gonna really play out like another. So we're really just deciding. We when power says something, it happens. That's the mechanic. But at the end of the crossroad, we're just gonna decide yes or no to the question of will the kingdom commit to becoming farmland going forward.
Got it.
And
And
lastly,
then-
what we just learned is that demons, whether real or imagined, will come rip you apart if we go down this agrarian path.
I love that you say that. I'm just for game mechanic purpose gonna point out that it was Fausta Feder that brought up this demon shit. And that doesn't make it true because he's power. But
Yeah,
if
that's fine.
Honeywell is saying that's gonna happen, it's gonna go into the yes thing.
I mean, I heard it
Honeywell
loud
have
and
that
clear
ex-
for like 20 people at my
Honeywell-
party.
If Honeywell believes that's what's gonna happen, then that's what's gonna happen. So if Fausta was able to be convincing enough that Honeywell believes it, he has now influenced the outcome. And this is like some real fourth wall shit. It's very good.
Honeywell has an opinion of what she would like to see happen. Therefore, whether she believes it or not, this is what she wants people to believe will happen.
Yeah, and if you're still perspective later, you can decide yes or no on all these things at the end of the crossroads too.
Yeah. On the no side, we will have a rat problem for a while. However, we will also have a bunch of cheap real estate that will be bought up by investors and turned into something, as long as we can get people to come here.
Okay, here's my problem. And I think it's a me problem, so I need guidance here. The way I thought this would play out is that talk... Oh, never mind. I take it back. Carry on.
What the hell?
I was gonna say, cause like you know how she started, she was like, yeah, we're doing farmland, blah blah, but like, okay, so she was scared away from doing farmland. Well, we'll see if it works or not, right? But
Are you trying to react to the scene right now?
she's not getting convinced to do otherwise either. Like, cause if I play as talk realistically and stick to roleplay, she almost doesn't even know that farmland is not the only option, you know? Because she's so focused on her idea, and no one was like, hey, you could like make this and that instead, you know?
Good to know.
But I think that's a me problem.
I think the next scene might need to deal with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, real estate bought up by investors, so there will be an influx of cash, and yeah, let's see where else we get in the next couple scenes.
Okay.
Keep building this up.
I have both had a scene and infiltrated someone else's, so I'm feeling good.
I think it's
Yeah, anybody had ideas?
Oh, I have an idea. Let's take a 5-minute potty break.
that's such a great idea.
Sounds good.
You know, I'm the idea man.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for watching. We'll be back in just a few minutes. We're going to continue to play this game, conclude some things, but we're going to go take a peeps first.
Priorities.
Priorities.
Bye.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I'm glad you guys got my silent cue.
You had
I
the
mean,
face
that's-
on. It's unmistakable.
So we have 2 scenes left.
Yeah.
Who's up, y'all?
I would like to set this out because I've been in 2, as Honeywell at least. Vasili's open for business. We haven't seen Glinda today. It would be cool to get an update on what she's about.
Yeah, I agree.
And Talk needs to have our eyes opened.
Eve needs to use her brain also. But
Well, you can always do a response to a scene with your main character too. I'm not saying don't be taught, but I'm saying there's other options to do things. Yeah.
For sure.
Have a reaction.
I mean, if my secondary character fits somewhere, I would love to play her. I already fell in love with her, and I only played her once and said, well, shit with her, so...
Was that our only spoken line?
Yeah. But she's great, I swear.
Well, that's kind of fun, because Faye has seen some shit.
I did. She did, I mean. Too much
Yeah.
into my character, sorry. I wish I was them sometimes.
Let me go into this world of fantasy.
Escape.
Right. I mean, yeah, I can do a scene with Glinda. That'll work.
Who's
Yeah,
the
man.
one in it?
Yeah, what's Glinda up to?
I mean, who hasn't been in anything yet? What characters haven't been in it yet?
So like I said, Faye only had a reaction, never went into a scene, but she's secondary, so I don't know how useful she will be in the scene.
Well, top people fail, man. I'm Touchstone, baby. Let's go. Yeah, let's do Vasily and Faye can be in there too.
Cool.
So Vasily lives in the fountain.
Ah,
As a
so
Triton.
you see suddenly one morning opening up on a building, a former abandoned building on the fountain, near the fountain, like off like in the center square near the fountain. A hand painted sign pops up and it just says, "The Trough."
I think Faye. What time of the day is it, Mike?
It's like midday. It's like lunchtime.
Okay, so Faye is doing her workout routine, and so she's running around the run. Pretty good, right?
Yeah, I think you're burning a lot of calories, and I think you smell something pretty good coming from.
Oh, it's not
that
water.
building.
I thought it would be water.
No, it's not water.
Yeah, I'm hungry. I did my morning jog. I think I approach her stands. I'm like, oh, what's this? This is new.
Oh, hello there. What's your name?
Who's asking?
Who's asking? Well, it's hi. Sorry, I guess it was rather rude of me. I'm Glinda Timpani, Wabble Rock, Axis, Vigafort, Triskillionaire, Mullet.
Right. How should I call you?
You can call me Glinda.
Glinda, nice to meet you. I'm Faye.
Nice to meet you, Faye. Would you like to take a seat? I'm just about to serve lunch.
Oh my. How much?
How much?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Let's say 1 silver.
I think Faye kind of tilts her head and she goes, Glinda, you know nothing's free here, right? Don't be shy. Up the prices a bit.
Well, let's say first one's a discount for a first-time customer.
Returning clientele isn't bad either, I will say.
And I will go into the kitchen and I'll start cooking up a storm. I'll start. I walk in there and I fire up the oven, and I will call in Tuber. And I'll say, "Come on, Tuber, it's time to sue." And I start as I'm like making food, I start humming a little tune. Say, when you're cooking up a storm and you're happy to be born, you do the piglet jig. And then, like, he kind of bobs back and forth, and Tuber kind of bobs his back and forth. He says, when you're cutting in the butter and your hog's a little nutter, you do the piglet jig. And she kind of dances back and forth. And she'll cook for a while, and then she'll serve you a lunch of just some beautiful green okra. That's my mama's brown sugar yams, and here's a cornbread with some gravy, and here is some grunion in butter.
Does it look good?
It's very good.
My mouth's fucking watering.
And she says, you know, I actually came here to study at well, see, my mom is the chef in the house. I actually came here to study at Toadstool Goons, a school of underbites and overbites.
Sick.
Send it over. I gotta
You
add
see,
it. To the...
you see, if you eat too much, it's an overbite, and if you eat too little, it's an underbite.
Huh. So like I should eat the whole plate, right?
You should eat yeah, you should eat everything.
Yeah.
That's a compliment to the chef. And I look at Tuber and I say, and he's real conscious of his customers. So you should really make sure you tell me you like it a lot.
Okay, well
You hear loud feet slapping up the pavement towards the trough.
I start stuffing my face while you introduce yourself.
And muscular but slightly round Triton man with like a big green seaweed looking beard, big Triton ears, and a thick gold chain with like a religious symbol on it comes stomping up the sidewalk. He's just wearing shorts, topless.
Of course.
What is this? Trog? How you say? Smells good in here.
I have
This
something
food?
I have something you're gonna love, mister. And I go out in the oven and I pull out a rack of freshly baked cookies and I'm like, well, here are my pecan sandies. Go and try one.
Pecan sandy. What is this?
I think the Russian accent from you was way overdue. We love it.
And he'll crunch it in one bite. Not bad. Not bad. How you say sandy pecan?
Yeah, exactly. One of
Okay.
the things I notice here is that actually the food around here grows real good, you know, vegetables and fruit. It's as if, I don't know, there's some kind of fertilizer right in the groundwater or something.
You could say.
Yeah, Glinda, I'm afraid the run has quite the history buried underground.
Great, it's wonderful. I mean, any chef would be lucky to cook with these ingredients. See, a good meal starts in the farm.
So Triton like walks over and stands over your table looking at your plate. If it's you gonna eat all this?
Yeah, girl's hungry.
You like a twig though. How it gonna fit?
Well,
Fine,
you know,
I
when
will
you
do
move
my
that
best.
much, you need to eat as much.
It's true. I spend most of my day sunning in fountain. Very nice.
That little place for a big guy like you?
I get something you're gonna love, and I run to the kitchen, I pull out, and I pull a tray of just what is looks like a bunch of just crispy bugs, and I say, tree crickets, deep fried,
No, I've heard of
enjoy
those. You know,
from the grove.
Glinda, why would you waste your time studying shit when you already know it?
Well, you see, at the school of underbites and overbites, the best chefs in the world gather.
You could be
Is
the
this
best
the-
chef in the run.
I'm the
I
chef.
think you already are. I mean, I'm
No,
eating
no.
cricket and it tastes good. Like,
This is just home cooking. I want to learn gourmet.
I try anything once and never tried bug before. Although shrimp is just bug of sea, no?
That's true. Crabs too, and lobster if you think about it.
Those more like rats.
All right. Well, you know the ocean better than I would, I assume. Enjoy your lunch. Come on, Tuber, let's go. We gotta prepare for the dinner rush.
I think I'll react as talk. Wait, is the scene over?
I'm done with this.
Yeah.
I used all my ideas, guys.
Love it. I
That's
love it.
all.
I think I'll react as talk, and you know she's not running, she's not as energetic as Faye is, but she's on her little stroll, afternoon stroll, with Jean-Luc, of course. You know, they're strolling and stuff, and they come across this little stand. I don't think Glinda's there at the moment. They just see like that it's food related and stuff, and the idea strikes her finally that farmland is not the only thing she can do. And I think she now sees the option of like having cultural buildings, so like killing maybe like not the university, right? But like some sort of educations in arts, restoration, stuff like that. And that is my reaction.
Nice. As perspective, I'll say that a couple other things will happen if we do commit to farmland. The gourmet ingredient piece, I was actually thinking that earlier, so I'm just glad Glinda brought that up. We will have some high quality stuff grown in the run, and the run won't be known as the gold run anymore. It'll be the green run.
Oh!
And shit, I just had another freaking. Oh yeah, and if we do switch to farmland, we will also have a fair, an annual fair, and that's going to be a gigantic draw, basically, to any foodie and like a country fair. Basically, there will be amusements and stuff, and it's going to be the talk of the town every year.
And as touched on, I can move my. It says you can put your name under the choice you prefer. I think most people are digging the farm. I think most people are digging the farming. I think it's like come around a little bit. People are like eating health. They're healthier. There's less poverty because people are able to afford food grown locally. Those community gardens are actually still thriving. Shockingly, they're still like really going strong. And people are like coming around to the idea of like, wait a minute, we can actually be known as a center of like eateries and like food culture, which is kind of so I think Glinda's on that side of things of actually rather preferring the farm situation.
Nice.
And I'll also react to the scene because I think there's a certain stork-like Birdman up in the trees overlooking the central square at the fountain, seeing people enjoying the local ingredients in this quaint eatery. And I think as he's watching, the camera goes in. You see his eyes narrow.
Damn, that's awesome. I can't wait to hear what Faustus' plans are for the run if it doesn't become farmland. That's what I'm hoping we'll suss out in the next scene.
I think it's
What?
established for talk that it's either, well, I think it's, to her it's mostly farmland and scattered around like some cultural bits, you know.
I
So-
love the idea of having Matthew loves the idea of having the central fair be like
Yeah.
the opening scene of our campaign.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Faust
Oh, we lost him.
Yeah, we
Faustus
lost
was
him.
has
too much.
different machinations.
Okay, we have
Ooh, that
one
was
more
cool.
scene, correct?
One more quick
more.
reaction. Just as Vasily leaves the trough carrying like a couple crickets on a stick under his arm, and he like looks left and looks right and makes sure no one's really paying attention to him, and then he just falls backwards into the fountain. And he spends a few minutes collecting all the coins that people have made wishes with on the bottom. So he pockets those up. That's his form of income.
I need
And
to know
then
how
he-
big that fountain is.
Well, what he does is he goes to the center of the fountain, like where the sculpture thing is, and there's a little trap door that he crowbars up and slithers down there with his Triton body, and he like falls down into a lower chamber that's way bigger, and it's like a cistern of fresh water, like an aquifer under.
Damn.
And he swims across to his, opens like a door slowly, and enters his apartment. And inside his apartment, it's full of water. Obviously, he can breathe underwater. And there's a land tank which has different like birds living in it. So it's completely like sealed off, as if you'd have a fish tank in your living room. He's got a bird tank, and he, however he does it, he adds the crickets on a stick to feed his lovely parrots and canaries.
That's good.
I just picture it's like a genie going into his lamp, or like I dream of Genie when she goes in the lamp, and it's like this cute little sitting room. Like that's what I picture you going into this fountain is.
Yes.
It's good.
And he dreams about even better and fresher ingredients and more greenery and bright colored birds as he eats crickets with his pets.
You know, like every hog knows, ain't nothing better than food.
Factual.
Yeehaw!
All my gnomes are southern for some reason. I don't know why.
It's charming. They're charming
You
people.
can do all the gnomes you want. More gnomes, guys. That's if I had one note. More gnomes.
More gnomes, more
I think we
gnomes.
would really get this party started. It's
All
just more
gnomes,
gnomes.
one shot. All gnomes.
Love it.
Ocean's
One
Gnome
shot,
only party, right?
Our next campaign is all of you change your characters. We're just gnomes. I'm changing the rules. That's it.
Dang it.
Okay.
That might not be a change for me at all.
Ah!
Uh-oh.
One scene left. What do we want to do? Where do we want to do? Maybe we pick the area first and then figure out what's going on there. Like, who the fuck's the Sky Mother that was mentioned? This is the Aarakocra. Thanks,
Yeah.
Mike. I don't know who I want to have a whole campaign figuring out who the fuck the Sky Mother is. Come on. So good.
I think
Parsa fascinates me because they're not bound by any roads, so I literally imagine them like they just have like there's just a culture that's almost like worldwide culture that I know very little, which is fascinating. I just think they could go anywhere, live anywhere.
And they choose to live in fucking trees in the run.
Well, you know. So do you. So.
Like their
Hey, hey.
That's like their neighborhood. It's like I think
Yeah.
the way that a subterranean neighborhood might have like, you know, goblins or grong or were-rats. It's like the trees, the grove. That's their section.
All right.
So we've had a lot of talk about what's going to happen if we do the farmland. Haven't had a lot of people lay out an agenda for not doing farmland. So that's what I'd love to see if Fausta has a scene
Mhm.
planned to try to enact some gears in motion.
Maybe we just do Fausta without any of the other main characters, like a Fausta scene where he's just like having a drink but doesn't do anything creepy, and maybe like other people can play minor character, or you can be a main character, but like one that wouldn't be like, oh, he's the villain that drugged everybody, but like maybe it's just Fausta going and having a nice lunch at a place with imported ingredients.
Okay.
Okay. Also, Honeywell's opinion of him was changing by the end. Like she's seeing him as a asset.
Either
So-
or maybe Honeywell's that maybe Honeywell and him have lunch. I mean, I'm down for that. I like the idea of this stork man, this creepy stork man just eating lunch. I mean, I don't know why that's sticking in my head. I'm very open to other ideas though.
That sounds great.
Okay, who's where are we? Maybe we're in what was the place? The one that Eve, your character, was playing before. What was it called?
Parsa's finest.
Parsa's.
But
I
that's
think
that's a bordello.
yeah, but I think it's not there anymore,
anymore.
right? And I think
Oh.
now it's just like a diner.
And it's still Parsa's finest. I love
Yep.
it.
No, I'm still calling it. No.
No, I think it's. I mean, what would it be? It's just like
No, it keeps its name, please.
Yeah, it should keep its name. Absolutely.
okay, yeah, Parsa, but like someone else owns it.
Yeah.
It's totally owned by a different person. It's just like a diner now.
Yeah.
And they added breakfast all day under the Parsa's finest sign.
Oh,
I think in the lore, Mama Mello fought for the name to stay the same. To honor Lizzie.
Nice.
I
That's
like
the
that.
lore.
And who's here? Who's having breakfast?
I
Who's here
don't
for
think
breakfast?
So
I don't think my secondary character. She's like she's a teenage drug dealer. I don't think she's there.
You know,
yeah, I mean Honeywell would come to a lunch meeting if that's what Faust is organizing.
yeah. I think when you walk in, then I think Faust is already eating. He has like this big plate of like fried eggs and like some hash browns, right? And he's like, you know, the eggs are kind of running and he's kind of mixing it up and he gets it all on the fork and just takes a big bite.
Honeywell
As you
reaches into her pocket with 2 fingers and pulls out a pocket watch and then puts it back. Am I late or are you just rude again?
Sit down. Please, Fraulein, have a seat.
You
I
really
was-
need a PR manager, you know that, Fausta?
I was waiting here, and I have to say, they have just the best breakfast here. I couldn't wait any longer. I'm sorry to say. Feel free, order. They're very quick. And he like shovels another fork full of food into his mouth.
No, I used to be banned from here. Yeah, garçon. I'll have not what he's having. You have a like a smoothie or something? Yeah, give me a smoothie and a mimosa, and keep the mimosas coming.
And just to throw those references in so that people that know things really knows it. The female server comes over and says "Garçon" means boy, and then goes to get your order.
I love the fact that you ordered a smoothie and a mimosa. Are you just gonna be double fisted? That is the most insane breakfast I've ever heard in my life.
Would you like some eggs?
No, Fausta, I would not. Also, do birds eat eggs? Is that normal?
Have you ever watched birds stealing eggs from one another's nest, suckling on the young of others? This here, though, this is livestock.
You are one creepy fella, you know that?
I love how Matt started this by saying, I don't want him to be creepy in this scene.
I don't want Freddy Krueger to be creepy in this.
Yeah, I want a Freddy Krueger scene, but I want like
a day of the life. Like just
yeah,
that's
yeah.
good.
He's not killing anybody now.
Oh,
this is like whatever the 30 years in between he does that shit. You know, this is just the day.
Yeah.
Just eating eggs like Denethor and fucking Return of the King.
So, I must ask you, what way, Fraulein Honeywell, do you think people are leaning right now? From what I see, it is very troubling. I believe people are looking to possibly throw the run away. Throw it away into nothing.
I'm afraid you're right. I don't know if you saw, but I even put the mansion up for sale. Because I don't think I'm going to be staying here when there's cows shitting in the street.
Huh. What sadness. You saw, of course, Herr Gold, and the tears that go down his face every day after his lovely discotheques have been closed left and right.
Yeah, it looked like you two had some history. Like he knew something I didn't, so I'm hoping you're here to clue me in.
We used to work together years ago. This was before before his run, as he likes to say, was solidified, I suppose. What is this, though? You ask for elucidation. What could I illuminate for you? What can I make clearer?
So when you showed up at my door, all pushy, like, what I thought you were offering was...
No, I was salesman tactics only.
Which are
Sure.
pushy, but...
But what I thought you were trying to do is strike a deal and get some business flowing. Because you've got a product and there's a market here. Oh, you need a napkin?
It got stuck a little. I just needed to get it down.
Where's that Oh, here we go. All right, mimosa and smoothie.
Double fisting.
Just put vodka in the smoothie.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think? I think... Now, I'm always about expanding the run, doing more for it. But, you know, I must say, my operation, the little piece of it that I run here, it was honestly never better than when we had the grotto. You see, there were so many places to hide things away in there. When that got flooded with the shit water, it was very difficult. Although the lake is lovely to look at, in truth. And then we expanded the run, and there were many buildings, some of which had basements, more hiding holes, very useful. Now these buildings are in ill repair. If people go in and out, others notice. It's much messier.
Buster, you sounding like that Willie Grunion guy. You know him? The one who just always dwells in the past and bitches and moans and has no new ideas. Like, what am I sitting here listening to you complain about old times, huh?
No. You've misunderstood. When we look at that, versus we look at the other option of making this farmland and no opportunities for any industry. Little
with you.
fish flopping around, running the place themselves. I have a different vision. A different
Well,
vision
yeah.
of what this could be. Not gold run of Lars, that is of days past. And not farm gold run. I don't know what they want to call it.
Green Run, I think, is what they're tossing around.
I have a different idea that I would like to see come in fruition. An idea that allows for everyone to have their own little piece of everything. Not just everything segmented so that everybody can do what they want. And then it is run by my organization.
And that organization is?
It will be very structured, you see. The taxes, they will be collected in a fair, honest way. Everything, the business holdings will all be subsidiaries, all very above board, I show you. We have done this in other portions of the city. It works out very fine, I must tell you. Those at the university, they don't mind when we run things this way, not at all. It's really the best way. Very organized. Chances for people to make a little bit of money. But some things would have to change.
That's what I'm here to do. I mean, I've got capital, I've got people, I've got connections. I still got some friends in government, so...
So, you see, this council that was created is a load of bullshit. I mean, if you people want to sit on a council and pretend like you make order, do that. Do it. Go ahead. It's fine. What we need is real estate. And there's not very much of it left here in Parsa. We're surrounded, as you know. Only so much land, and much of it is paved with the gold. You can't put buildings there. But this area, each plot of land, controlled, and organized in the best way. So it's all used. Now we put some green spots over here, some green spots over there, so that people are happy and they have outdoor access to the lake.
So you want to build a slum? Is that what I'm hearing?
I want to build a city. A city inside the city. You see.
Hey.
We will use this last bit of usable, not already designated land in the city to really build something. To really build a place that people want to live, that they don't want to sell their homes and move elsewhere. We will have more neighbors, it's sure, but it's a price you have to pay.
So I heard of this concept where within 15-minute walk of everyone's house, you have everything you might need, and you never need to leave again. Is that what you're telling me?
The arts, the theater, it will all be there. Yes, we will have the ability to buy what we need and the money to import it from elsewhere and pay for those services. Absolutely. And of course, with close buildings, you get cheap labor. You understand. When these many people are here, there will be many servants needed. Good jobs for everyone.
Okay. Now, and she'll kind of look around, make sure no one's too close. And where does this safe dream come in?
Don't understand. Dream is dream. And what you took is maybe not so safe.
All right. So it's a question of zoning then. I think that's what we need. We got to make sure that it's not zoned as agrarian and it's zoned as housing, culture, business.
My people are very close to being ready to move in. But this vote has to go a certain way. Of course, your council, you all get a say. If I need to. I can get in their heads.
You can get into a couple of their heads. I've got dirt on 3 of them. and I can get dirt on a few more of them.
I will say, I worry about one of the council members. Why she would want to lose her boardwalk? Why she would want to lose what her auntie had built over years? But she seems. I look in her eyes.
There's nothing behind them.
She's a strange-looking creature. I don't know what to make of her.
I've tried all my life to put a finger on what the hell she is about, and what I've realized is that she's not an influencer. She's... God, why do you have to... What was I even saying? She's influenceable. If she latches onto a strong figure, you can set her in a direction, and she'll keep running.
You, my good friend, no longer have any power yourself. You are almost useless. And he just like taps your hand holding the mimosa and says, but perhaps you could be this parasitic figure that leads the run the way it needs to go.
Wow, you really know how to make a girl feel special, Fausta.
The
You know
breakfast
that?
is done. This was a wonderful time. Breakfast all day. Can you imagine? What a world we live in. And he just gets up and I see you. Yes.
Is this scene?
Well, after drinking another mimosa or three, Honeywell gets up in disgust and is disappointed about who she has to work with, but she is aligned.
I think I'd like to react as Talk. What's the equivalent of Tuesday? Quick! It's your test, Matt.
I already put it there.
Vatic.
Vatic.
So, it's a Vatic evening. Okay. And I think it's a ritual where Talk will gather the youth, goblinoids, Arkrukras, the minorities that we talked about before. Those are the only two examples I have because my vocabulary is lacking, but...
Grungs, the orcs.
Yeah, all those, right? So it's little kids sitting in front of this no taller than them little goblin. And I think she's telling them stories of Auntie Groot's reign and how she wanted grandeur and respect for her people. And I think, Talk looks nostalgic for a second. And she goes, we do things very differently now. That is true. And to be quite frank with you, I don't even know if she would be proud of me. But, fuck, I lost my train of thought, guys.
We're proud of you, Auntie Talk.
Sorry?
We're proud of you, Auntie Talk.
But my idea is that I want to be proud of you. And to do that, I need to provide you with an environment in which you can grow safely. What my auntie did was not safe. It made a name for us, and it made it so that people knew that we could achieve stuff. And with this, I want to just slightly change the perception of others, because we can do big stuff. But what if we did big, good stuff?
Big good stuff.
You don't...
Big good stuff.
Big, good stuff.
Big good stuff.
And I think she goes, I got my train of thought back. Nice. She says, most of Parsa is ruled the same way. It's very categorized, and taxes are all, everything is very organized in a very organized way. And what makes us so special, what makes the run so special is that we don't abide by these rules. We are our own little community. And what would the run be if we started doing the same as everyone else? Next to the university, we would be overshadowed. We would be nothing. And I think this is why I care about prioritizing our culture. I care about making this safe. It's because if we start doing the same as every other person, then we'll just be forgotten, and the run will not be special anymore. And you, my little nerflings, it's your job to make the run live on.
Okay, Auntie.
That's my reaction.
Beautiful.
Okay.
All right. So I think a couple points to add to the yes nos. So we have now that Faust has laid out his idea, he's got a precise organization that can really run a town and figure it out. We know that there's going to be a bunch of cash influx because of the cheap real estate. A city within a city, like a walled city, will be built on the run. People will be attracted from across Parsa because of the cheap housing, as opposed to the rest of the town, which is going up. A big labor pool will be formed, and the run will simply be called the Run instead of the Gold Run, or the Green Run, or the Grunion Run.
But you know what I was trying to suggest, and I know I'm not perspective, so you can disagree if you want, but what I was trying to suggest with my reaction is that if we do what Matt's character said, you know how he said that even the university, they do things that way, and like everything's done the same across Parsa, and they like it. I was trying to suggest that if we do start doing the same as everyone else, then we lose culture, history, and we just become like kind of part of the city, like this random little walk that you have to go across to get to your point, you know?
Yeah, so part of the reason why I'm simplifying the name to just the Run is because it loses any because it loses any sort of interesting or distinguishing feature, and it just blends into like the backdrop of the city. It stops being like an amazing weird little neighborhood, and it turns into just like an extension of the other neighborhoods nearby.
Cool, that's what I wanted. Insane.
That brings us,
No.
boys and goyles,
Boils and goys.
to the end. We're at the end of a crossroads. What are we gonna do? Yeah, let me get to the book.
I was wondering, because if we say this is our last session, if both powers are disagreeing, it's not gonna be our last session.
Well, you know, let's see what happens. Because you can always overthrow power.
Ooh.
I'll point that out too. We haven't done any overthrows in this yet.
I don't know what that is. I read about it, but I forgot.
Well,
Yeah, I still haven't read the rules.
let's
I don't know how to do it.
let's fight it out, people.
Swords clashing.
Let's resolve this crossroad. Let's review. Let us review. The question is, will our kingdom, this here run, commit to being farmland going forward? If we decide yes, all the remaining dead, those dead that have been stashed all over from our previous bad times, are going to be found, and having to bury all these people and all these bodies will create religious friction. Goblins, all the little nerflings and aunties of the area, will become farmers. And people are going to know them as farmers. They're going to be feared less by the general populace. Poppy production will boom. Demons will come rip you apart. We will have gourmet ingredients and will therefore be known as the Green Run. And we're going to have an annual fair, the talk of the town. If, though, we decide to go a different route, we are going to have a big problem with rats. There will be lots of cheap real estate bought by investors, creating an influx of cash. We will build a walled city in the run. More population will come, attracted to cheap housing, which will form a labor pool. We will lose a bit of ourselves here and simply be known going forward as the Run. Power. We are first.
Farmland. Sorry.
As we go forward, I'm going to read this little paragraph of the rules. If you don't like an outcome or you want a different voice, you can change your role, fight or fix something, or overthrow someone else's role. but each player can only contribute with one roll during the entire Crossroads resolution. If you've already used a roll, you can't change and use a second roll. But if someone overthrows you and stops you from using your roll, then you're free to assume a new roll, because you never actually got to contribute. So, we've reviewed the Crossroads. Step 2 is power makes a decision. We have 2 power characters.
And
The little
I'm
goblin.
still not understanding
Auntie.
this overthrow mechanic. What do you do? Like, if I say, fuck you, I want to be power now, what happens?
Well, if you say you want to do that, we'll get there.
Okay, I
Right.
might want to do that.
But
Okay.
please, like, don't say fuck you to me because I'm sensitive.
Okay, I won't.
What is Talk's decision?
Greenery for the win, baby. Make it the green run.
Yeah, I mean, Fausta is going against you with that,
Yeah.
without a question. Fausta does not want to commit some of the only usable real estate in the entire city of Parsa to go to farmland.
Okay, what do we do now? Fight it out?
There is a
2 more
tie.
scenes. 2 more scenes.
Scenes.
There is a tie. It is a stalemate, which means the crossroad would not be decided yet.
All right.
Unless...
All right,
someone wants
we're doing it. Honeywell is unable to stomach working with such an ungodly, awful creature
You're
such
just
as
jealous because
Fausta.
you got overthrown real easy and people don't like you and you're old, so...
Like, oh, you
problem
didn't
is-
wait. You didn't let him finish with the ungodly creature.
The problem is, I didn't get overthrown. I stepped down first of all. I made a decision.
Yeah, save your ego, sure.
There's no ego here. Come on, super humble.
sorry.
So,
Well,
as the vote comes around, Honeywell promised Fausta to use her leverage to have people vote in the direction against the farmland. But she has a change of heart and actually influences the council with the dirt that she has on them and the favors that she has remaining in the Parson government to vote for farmland.
Oh!
So
So-
she has made a decision that she's sick of being
all that.
dumped all over, and if someone's going to come into her house and command her help, this shit is not going to stand if it's the last thing she does.
So you have 2 options, right? You can, and story-wise, I think it works for either one of these. You can choose to fight or fix, in which case, I'm gonna give you, I can give you options to help you decide, but it's like just making this one decision. Or you can totally try to overthrow my role, and kind of and if you can do it successfully, you get to decide what happens.
So fight or fix as in like fix the outcome, or fix as in repair the situation?
Either way.
the only
So I think-
situation in which you don't do 2 more scenes if you overthrow power, because otherwise
know.
we're doing 2 more scenes.
No, not fight or fix necessarily. So the what it says, your main character can always try to deal with situations other players create with their roles or overcome what someone else is doing. You can prevent predictions from coming true, change public opinion, or break people out of prison. You can always succeed if you're willing to do what's necessary. So if you chose to fight or fix, I can give you options. I can either say, yes, you succeed. I can say, yes, you succeed, but there is an undesirable consequences of your action if you choose to do that. Or I can say, yes, you succeed if you follow the plan that I describe instead of what you said. So I choose one of those options. It will not be just yes, you succeed, by the way.
Yeah,
It'll be one of the other 2. And I will give you that option, and then you, upon getting that option, can decide if you yes or no if you want to do it. Or you can fucking overthrow me.
Yeah, I'd love to hear the options.
Okay, now that I've read them, let me actually think about what that means. Undesirable consequence of your action.
So once On TV died on my dining room floor, On TW, and she's a little bit younger, a little bit hungrier, and was a lot more willing to play ball against some sort of mysterious
Yeah.
doctor
I'm gonna-
of the powders.
And we're able to negotiate if you want to go back and forth, but I'm actually going to choose the one you succeed if you follow a different plan than what you said.
Okay.
And my
I'm just
suggestion
gonna say
is
here though that even if you don't overthrow, we are doing 2 more scenes. The only way we don't do 2 more scenes is if you overthrow, because otherwise power is split. And we do 2 more scenes. That's all I'm saying. Fighter Fix does not address that. So we do powers. We still disagree. We still do 2 more scenes. Just so
fair
you know.
enough. Okay.
So I don't
that's
really
true.
want to do 2 more scenes right now because it's pretty late.
Oh no, he's gonna try to overthrow me. Look at us using the mechanics of this game
Yeah.
during our playthrough. Amazing.
Honeywell in her late 50s, even though her back hurts. She's here to play ball.
All right. Well, let's put that to the side. Cut that. Edit that out, people. Come on. If you want to stop what someone is doing with their role, you can overthrow them and take their role away. You can even undo what they did with their role. Blah 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 blah. But you can only take away someone's role by assuming that role yourself. Just overthrow someone. Follow these steps. 1. Match roles. If you don't have the same role as the person you're overthrowing, you must change to it first.
Yes, I changed.
You changed to power.
Dun, dun, dun.
2.
All of your perspective predictions are immediately no longer valid. There are now none of those.
Correct.
So we just lost
To-
all of our
or-
progress?
Yes,
Or whoever-
all of the perspective. Now it'll be up to new
Or
perspective.
whoever is,
Yeah.
it's up to the new perspective.
Exactly.
Okay. So to overthrow power, show us why your kingdom obeys you now, not them.
I think
what
you
do
already
you
did
do
that
to-
with saying the black. Yeah, I think you already did that saying the
Yeah.
blackmail council. Yeah.
So number 3, price. One of the players not involved in the overthrow comes up with personal consequence or price your character must pay to the struggle. So either, I'm going to say, Eve, you have a little too much skin in this game because this is also going to your thing. I think, Mike, you should give a price that to Morgan Honeywell, right? For doing this. It should be something we agree on as players, but not necessarily something your character would like. So you can't be like, you fucking die.
I think, based on what's happening, I think Faustus and their organization are going to take extreme measures.
Which means?
I'm saying that. I guess what I'm saying is that. Wait, hold on. Let me read, because I don't really know about this roll and overthrow. Because I don't
Yeah.
Really so it says, I have to give a cost to Honeywell specifically.
Yeah, because I'm the one
'Cause she's
taking
the
the
one
big risk
overthrowing.
here to overthrow
Yeah.
power.
So it's a cost as in like you have to suffer this but you'll get the role?
One of the player,
Okay.
overthrows with a personal consequence or price your character pays as part of this struggle.
Okay. So it's a consequence against the role that you're seeking.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's a consequence against the action you're It's a consequence in reaction to you overtaking someone else.
Cool.
So I like the idea that like now you have a target on your back from this weird shadow organization.
Yeah, and let's say specifically that Honeywell turning at this exact moment runs afoul not only of Fausta and the organization, but also this expanded drug running that's bringing in opium, which is another thing entirely.
Runs afoul of them. Oh.
Like by saying that it's gonna be, it's gonna be fun.
What, they don't want fucking poppies?
Your predictions are no longer valid. None of those
shit.
are real anymore.
Okay, fair enough. So I make 2 enemies instead of just 1 org.
Fausta is not going to resist. He'll take on perspective.
Yeah.
Oh
Back where you
no!
fucking belong, bitch.
This is the real evil right there.
I love it. Crisis. In the last step, as players, how much does each of us think what just happened means trouble in the kingdom? Everyone
Big
reveals. Okay. So everyone put up fingers 1 to 5 how bad this is going to be for the run and how close we're getting to Crisis. Hint, we only need 1 more to get to Crisis.
But realistically
So-
speaking, didn't we say that the people wanted farmland though?
So you can decide that. You can
So
put
the-
up Put up
Yeah.
fingers between 0 and 5. I'm gonna say 3, 2, 1,
But
shoot,
I want
and
a
then shoot
crisis
reveal.
is a thing.
You decide.
I mean, yeah, decide for yourself.
Are you ready? Okay. 3, 2, 1, shoot.
I figured
Yeah,
that
the,
even
the
if
way
I
I
said
see this
zero.
is,
Take
like,
the second lowest number,
which
and
is
that's
1.
what goes in the crisis box.
So it's 4110. So it's 1.
Okay. Well, we're not done yet, but our crisis boxes are full.
So to explain just briefly in universe what I feel is happening here is with Honeywell pulling out all the stops, calling in all of the favors that are owed to her, spending money, hiring goons, and there's basically a power struggle throughout the neighborhoods.
Okay, that makes
So
sense. Yeah.
that's where the crisis comes from. Like the people were feeling all right about it, like the commoners, but the people really in power were not feeling okay about it, and that's where the real clash was. So we again had assassinations and violence and all sorts of shit happening
Okay,
that hadn't been happening here in a couple years. So.
that makes sense. I like it.
Okay. So power has made a decision. Next. Oh no, wait. Next, perspective shows the consequences.
Can't wait for this one.
Things are
Fucking
going to
demons in
go
it.
differently than you
Right.
thought they were. I was not prepared for this, so I don't know how they're going to go yet.
Yeah, this is hard.
Let's discover this together in the moment. Okay. So yes, you have committed to being farmland. Okay. I think the land is less. What's good farmable? What's a word that means it's good for farming?
Tillable.
Terrible.
Fertile?
Fertile.
Yeah, sure. Less fertile than once thought.
But there's poop in the ground.
Difficult to
Literally.
farm. Yeah, it's person poop. It's not like
Isn't
In
that
the Middle
good?
Ages, man. In the Middle Ages, they only used
Wow.
human feces to
Yeah.
fertilize.
land
Are
is
you
less
fucking
fertile.
serious?
Yeah, because if you eat crops fertilized by your own feces, the microbes in the plants don't harm you because you already have them. You're already part of your system. So, like, peasants would, like, fertilize their own feces because that's safe for them to eat.
Didn't they have
Don't
pigs
ask me how I
and
know that.
cows shitting? Yeah, how do you know that?
No, it's used by human. They would use human poop. Yeah, I read a lot of history.
Okay.
I think most people leave the run. Just most people are gone. They don't have a reason to be there anymore.
Yeah, we expected this one.
I actually think the Aarakocra are now the dominant and not Fausta, right? But like they're because they stayed. Their trees are there. There's no reason for them to leave. So when most other people left, they kept their full community intact. And I think Aarakocra are now the dominant species.
So it's
What
like a
have I
lot of
done?
Aarakocras and Goblin.
I think
Yeah,
most
goblin
goblins
farmers.
I think most
Oh, yeah,
goblins
that's
left too.
Okay.
I think most goblins don't want to.
Those don't
I
want to
think
farm. They want to steal.
But
wanna
but
slang
wait.
cocaine.
When does it fall under the realm of Touchstone to decide things like that?
Touchstone decides how people feel about it.
Yeah.
Perspective decides what happens.
But your consequences dictates how they feel about it.
Sure, you get to tell me well, Mike gets to tell us how they feel.
And I'm not trying to argue. I'm just trying to understand.
yeah.
By the way.
And the annual fair is very sad.
You fucker.
And
That's the
lonely.
best idea.
Matt, we
I
wanted
love
one
it.
good thing. What the fuck?
Let's give a good thing. Most people leave because there aren't a lot of people there. I think the Aarakocra being in charge is pretty good. No, they're fine.
Lame. Fucking lame.
I'm actually gonna say the central fountain is
That's my
the
fucking phone.
major focal point
Yeah, that's good. All right. I like
of
that.
the entire area. And what is it going to be called now? It's not Green Run. It's not The Run. The name has reverted to Grunion.
Oh, you're kidding me, Max. What the fuck? Like, you know what I was thinking earlier, like an hour ago? I was like, man, I'm so glad we went from lame-ass Grunion run to like gold run and then the run, and like it was sounding cool. And then you're like, no, you know what? Let's revert back to Grunion run.
Man, you could have been cool. You could have been cool. You decided my boy Fausta wasn't gonna win, though. You don't get to be cool. No cool points.
You're just jealous. You're jealous because Talk kept power, even all of y'all were hating on her, so.
Hey. I think that's what we got, guys. How does Glinda feel about this?
I think you see Glinda at the restaurant at the Trough, cooking like just dinner for the few locals who come in from the fields working in the day, and she's like, "Well, tonight we have a fine cucumber gazpacho, and we have some snap peas and a salad, and of course we have our traditional dish here, with a twist. We have grunion, but it's sautéed in lemon butter, and a little bit of garlic." And she nervously looks over at a couple food critics visiting from the university who are here to discuss this meal.
I love cucumber gazpacho, my favorite soup.
And I think Willie yells from across the room, You didn't cook my grunion enough. It's too bony. I don't got enough teeth to eat this.
I think what happens is that because basically they promised us money, and most of the people left, the money still comes in, and the people who are here actually are like they're not like, there's less people and they're getting this payment, and they're also able to sell their produce on top of this they're subsidizing. So I don't think they're like poor. I think they're actually like, but I think it's hard work. I think a lot of halflings come in. I think the halfling population shoots way up, and I think there's a nascent kind of culinary epicenter brewing here, in the shadow of this kind of, agrarian new reality that exists here. But I think for the most part, people are conflicted. I think that people miss this glitz, this glamour. The run is usually the gold run. It's talked about fondly. A lot of the darker aspects, a lot of skeletons have been emptied out, and people don't remember the negative as much, and they say, wow, this place used to be the center of the world, and now it's this. But I also think that there aren't a lot of dead bodies showing up anymore in abandoned houses. I think that's kind of gone way down. And for the most part, I think the people who remain are happy with their simple life.
At least Mike gave me a happy ending.
The ending, it's still the beginning.
Oh.
What about the crisis, though?
Actually, can I fight or fix?
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
what do you want to
There we
fight or
go.
fix?
I want to fight or fix one thing.
Yeah.
I want to fight or fix that the fear is sad. Because I actually think it wouldn't be. I think it would
Yeah,
be a big-
please,
Yeah,
please.
okay, fair enough. What does your character do to make sure the fair is not sad?
Talk will give you her support if you need it.
I think what you see happening is that because we are in a literal like valley in the middle of a mountain range that is the only arrow, like this becomes a festival since it's like a true like almost like into the wood style medieval festival where like this is like now about like farmers bring their things to market and chefs come in
into the run
to use these incredibly fresh ingredients to create kind of these culinary kind of spectacular things. And I think a lot of them choose to stay, do the precipitate, and open up like some pretty cool restaurants. I think that's what creates the festival from being like, maybe it's not like a bang, I mean it's not like lit, but like I don't think it's sad. I think it's just a little more, it's like a country fair than anything else.
I want it to feel like a Renaissance fair.
I don't think it feels like a Renaissance fair, but
Aw,
I think
dang
it
it.
feels. I think it feels like a maybe a medieval kind of fair, but it's like almost like a farmer style, country type fair situation.
Okay. So, I get to respond now to that. Yes, you can succeed, but what's the but here?
I
what
love
makes
how
sense.
Matt doesn't even know. He's just like, let me stir shit up.
He knows it has to be something, just not what
It
it
has
is
to be
exactly.
something. Come on.
Well, and interesting. You can't. So the interesting is that so like it's yes, but or yes, but you actually can't respond with no.
You
Interesting.
can't respond with no.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I want something that's not going to be like yes, but you have to have your mouth pooped in every day. Like it's something that makes sense.
Ew.
I
Cuba
got a
wouldn't even mind
consequence.
that at all.
Yes, but because the land's not as fertile as you thought, a lot of what happens is, I mean, certainly there are vegetables growing, that kind of thing, but a lot of it is livestock farming.
Ooh, we got the beef.
Watch me make a vegan druid.
Which I think it encourages. I think it encourages that sense of like that fair type going to the festival. Even like people
And having the pigs and the
yeah.
sheep, and is that something you're able to?
I love that we're going to start this campaign in the only agrarian sector of this huge fucking city, and
with a booming restaurant scene.
cannot wait.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking
Table,
wonderful,
baby.
Wonderful.
What
I
about
love
the
it.
crisis though. Where's the
Yeah, we have a
Crisis.
But also, like, I love the fact that the history there is like the fact that like there's these like defunct casinos and shit. Like, there's still a little bit of that. There's still a little tinge of that hanging around.
I think you find like signs like
Yeah.
stuck in the ground used as part of a fence of like these old casinos. Shit. Okay.
Yeah, we keep all the grain in the ace in the hole. It's like completely emptied out. It's basically a giant barn, but the sign is still there.
Fuck yeah.
But there is a crisis. All the crisis box have. You thought we were done. We coming
Oh,
back.
we ain't even done yet.
Another one.
Another one.
Show the crisis. Decide together if there's going to be the end of your game. Yes, this is definitely going to be the end of our game. Okay.
Absolutely.
Each player gives a short description of a specific incident to show how the crisis is unfolding and threatening our kingdom. Don't include any of our characters in these vignettes. We'll see what they do later. So, like, each of us describes like a moment or a scene that actually shows that that the run is in crisis right now.
So without our characters though.
Without our characters, there might be like a whatever.
I mean, didn't Perspective's Consequences pretty much did that?
But we're supposed to do it like we describe. So like
Okay,
kind of like you do as a reaction,
Okay.
right? Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So I would say you see a bunch of kind of hooded, shadowy figures moving in under the cover of night, and discreetly you see them pumping water out of the grotto to revive it.
Ooh,
Nice.
pumping poop water out. Uh-oh, where are they gonna
Poop
put
water
it?
anymore. It's actually like, I think what happened was like that went on, like the grotto was flooded, but like now like this lake has been pretty fresh water since then. So I think
Yeah,
it's
but
actually-
where's all the current sewage going?
so the current sewage is still like prevalent in like the groundwater, but I think that pumping out I think that the water table is like mostly just like fresh water at this point,
Yeah.
because
It's been
like
years and years.
this lake has been like kind of, the ecosystem has kind of been revived. So I find
There's less people now too, so it's not as
so I think that what's happening
much
is
poop
that they're
water.
basically whatever Faust's organization is, and whatever these other friends who are sending ships from across the ocean are intent on reviving the center of
It's not an ocean, it's a lake.
I'll do my quick little vignette.
Oh no, I meant
Oh.
bringing in opium from across the sea.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yes,
Okay.
that's fully.
I think another thing that we see is a halfling family in their small little house, and the door's closed on this house, but the camera, very cinematic, right? Like we see it from outside, and it's nighttime, and you hear yelling inside, and you hear an adult male halfling yelling, You get yourself out of this house. We don't do any of that around here. We're not that kind of place. And the mothers of this house is yelling, no, stop it. And you hear a crash and breaking of glass. And the door opens and a teenage halfling runs out, bleeding from his head, clutching the little bit of opium that he has left as he runs away from his family's home for the last time.
Beautiful. I got one. We have a beautiful evening at the annual fair. It's like nighttime. We've got a couple bonfires, and on the main stage, there's like a nice square dance situation happening. We've got roasting hogs on spits turning. Everything smells amazing. There's food being served, and a group of kind of dark-clad goblins is moving through the crowd, wearing kind of bigger cloaks, carrying something under them. And as they approach the main stage, where there's like dancers dancing in these beautiful linen white dresses and suits, they suddenly jump up and reveal tubs of fake animal blood under their cloaks, which they throw all over the performers, and start protesting about animal rights and how these are slaughterers and murderers, and they're killing all the animals and dancing over their corpses like some sort of Satanists.
We were supposed to have a nice festival, a nice fair. That's literally what we just argued about.
We're in crisis, Eve.
For a minute, I was, and I know you don't have the context for this, but I absolutely felt like you were going to say they were throwing tubs of mayonnaise at the performance. And it's just buckets of mayonnaise. Okay, and Eve, you have a
Calorie rich.
A moment to show us in this community that shows that it's in crisis.
I feel really bad because I've been running my brain cellules and nothing's coming up. let's do the religious uprising because of all the dead bodies found. So I think.
What does that look like? Yeah.
I think Matt, can I make you know how Faye is like breaking legs and shit? Can I make that canon?
Do your thing.
Okay.
Breaking legs? What?
Yeah. So I think Walkers of Valan, sorry. I think Walkers of Valan are emptying this building of like a dozen corpses. And you see them laying them out on the street, like in a very neat row. And they take out these silver hammers. They're intricate, they're shiny, they're like really pretty tools, right? Probably elven craft or something like fancy like that, right? And they start bashing the fuck out of the legs of the cadavers, breaking them.
I love it. Holy shit! That's
and what seems to stand as like a priest, head of this religious belief, leans towards the corpses and he goes like, "This is where the road ends for you. This is where the road ends for you."
Oh.
And you see this, what seems like a civilian at first coming up. It's night, right? So he comes up with a torch, and I don't know any other religious groups right now, so let's just pretend it's another religious group that will not be named. And he seems disgusted, obviously, because it's pretty barbaric, scared, and I think this creates kind of like an uprising of how do we deal with the deads, and what's the right way to do it when it's such a mix of culture and communities.
Oh, I love it. That's awesome.
See, my cellules,
that.
They worked.
They worked, but dude, that the walkers break their legs when they die. Fuck,
that's what I
such
did
an
on the
awesome
one
detail.
shot when I played Faye.
I love that.
That's so cool.
Thanks.
Step 2. What do you do? We are each going to take turns describing what our main character does or doesn't do during this crisis. You can try to save the kingdom, destroy it, or save your own skin and flee. Say where you are and what you do. I'll read the next part too. Our characters share in the fate of the kingdom, but if you want to save yourself, show your character giving up on the kingdom and fleeing. Abandoning the kingdom always weakens you. Yada yada yada. Yeah. So each of us describes the main characters.
So Honeywell hosts a party, which is way rarer, and the theme of the party is Honeywell lookalike party. And she invites a bunch of guests that are kind of like not super powerful, the ones that are sort of still trying to kiss ass and move up in rank. And everyone dresses as closely to her as possible. And about halfway through the party, she heads upstairs to freshen up. And there, she uses some sharp shears to cut her hair as close to her scalp as she can. Changes into a dirty outfit that's mostly dark. Takes all of her most expensive jewelry and stashes it in various pockets and places about her body. And waits for another couple hours for the party to end. And as all of the Honeywell lookalikes leave the mansion and spread out among the city, she makes her escape from the run for the last time with as much jewelry as she can carry to start a new life incognito somewhere else because she's got a massive target on her back.
I thought she was starting a cult with the whole hair clipping and stuff. I was like, oh, that's fun.
Okay.
So she covers her tracks and beats it.
I think you see Talk kind of like arguing back and forth with other aunties, other representative of minorities, and she's really trying to convince them that this is for the best and that yes, they're never gonna, like make it big, be big and shiny, but at least like they'll have history to be proud of, culture to be proud of, and that's not gonna be forgotten. And I think she's just trying to argue for the changes that have happened to people who aren't really believers.
Okay.
So what were the options? You can stay and try to improve, you can flee, or you can try to destroy?
Yeah.
So I think she's trying to improve the situation here.
But we don't need to resolve like if it succeeds or not, right? That's just what they're up to.
Not on this step. We don't.
All right, awesome.
Do you want to go first, Mike, or do you want me to?
You can go first if you'd like to.
Yeah, that's fine. So Fausta, I think, again, it's late at night, and he's just roosted in a tree at the end of a branch that looks like it shouldn't be able to hold his weight, and he's swaying. No. Fräulein, no. It is just a setback. I promise. We can fix this.
It's the 12.
No, fucking 12 in Parsa. Holy shit, that's good.
Viewers at home, for those who don't know, the 12s are lifetime long enemies.
They're the best friends.
I think so. I'll go with Glinda as she's like inspecting these new fields that are planted, and the soil is not good. It's not super fertile like Matt said for like really like intense agricultural farming. It's a little too sandy. It's a little like clay. It has like the clay from the fresh fresh water, and that's not great for what we're trying to grow here. But what loves sandy kind of clay-rich soil are grapevines, and a lot of them are planted. And there is a burgeoning wine scene.
Yes.
In the run.
We love it.
It doesn't get higher elevation than Parsa, baby.
Fuck yeah.
Nice.
The weather's good for it too. It's hot fucking year round.
Mild all year round, like California.
Hell yeah.
Good thinking.
Okay. Step 3, the outcome. Based on what they've heard, each player decides whether they think the kingdom should survive. Decide as a player, not your character.
But wait, I think
Everyone votes simultaneously. Yeah, but not surviving can mean a lot of different things.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Doesn't mean like it falls into the earth, right? Everyone votes simultaneously. Thumbs up if you think the kingdom should survive. Thumbs down if you think it should fall. Hand flat if you're neutral. If your character abandoned the kingdom, you must vote thumbs down.
No, I didn't know that.
And then we add up the results. So same thing. I'll do 3, 2, 1, shoot, and then we'll go.
Wait, thumbs up is survive, thumbs down is doesn't. Okay.
And then hand flat means you're neutral. Okay. 3, 2, 1, shoot.
Yes. Good
Let's
job,
go!
guys.
Okay.
Good.
That is positive, which means the kingdom survives. Describe the outcome of the crisis together based on that result. Each player may describe what happens to their character in the aftermath. Yeah, so I think we kind of have an idea of like where the community is going, but like yeah, maybe we give a little end, like a little coda for our characters.
And maybe it's a second location, and this one's just called Tubers, and it's a picture of a little pig on the front. And you see a very busy dining room, and you see you see Glinda bossing around a bunch of like halfling chefs and gnome chefs, and she's giving them she's like, well, I gotta take that off the range, and hurry, just too much salt in that, and they're like, yes, chef, yes, chef, yes, chef. That's what you
Nice.
say.
Beautiful.
I think it's that time of the year where the fair is happening, and you see Talk with her people organizing it, like putting tents up and stuff. And I think Talk lovingly looks at the scenery that's in front of her, and she sighs because it was a lot of hard work, a lot of downs more than ups. But she feels like she made it, and although she didn't take the route that her auntie Grultz suggested at first, I think she wishes to have made her proud. That's my happy ending for my little talk.
Honeywell leaves the run and makes her way through Parsa. And what she's looking for is a magic user, a witch or a hag. A powerful one that would grant a favor to an aging woman who's trying to start over. And I think she finds just such a person, a nondescript fortune teller in another district of Parsa, far across the way, and she pulls out one of her biggest diamonds to pay for the favor. And a spell is cast upon her to cover her tracks, to change her appearance permanently, and to let her begin anew as a new person in a new area, in a new town. And she tries to forget the dangers, but it settles deep into her mind, and she grows into a very paranoid person, dwelling mostly on the people that she wronged and the mistakes that she made, and when there's going to be a knife in her back.
Aww. That's sad.
It's really Honeywell was from like the beginning to end, like the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
was just your main character the whole time.
Yeah, I liked her. It was cool.
She was
And we see Fausta Feda on a beautiful sunny day with that mask on now. But the mask only covers his face, and you can tell upon looking at him as, like, you know, the view gets a little closer and closer. And the neck on Fausta looks different. It looks almost rough, bark-like, and he pulls down the mask for a second, and you see that his whole face is different, looking almost like desiccated, black, his eye just black, his beak black, going to just the palest orange at the front, as there's been some huge change to Fausta. And he no longer looks like a stork. He now looks, or stork as we usually think about it, he now looks like, if anyone knows what a wood stork looks like. And that is the look of Fausta when he does not have his mask on. But he's still there in the run.
with something in his head that wants really bad things. Nice.
Who knows?
think-
Hopefully we never have to
There's
run into
one
this.
more step. Technically, there's one more step to do.
Yeah.
I know it's like a lot, but it is time passes. We're supposed to end with time passes, and if we decide it's the end of our game, this will serve as an epilogue for our kingdom.
Oh, I feel like I've given 3 epilogues already.
Yeah,
It's not necessarily in character, but it's like,
Yeah.
it's like we're saying how much time is passing, and I think what we're doing here How much time is passing before we start this next?
Ooh, that's interesting.
We can. Do we want to decide that now? We certainly
I
can.
think this would be the time because I think this is kind of the like it says to serve as an epilogue.
Yeah.
If decide together if this is the end of the game, so everyone knows whether this is an epilogue or a kingdom. But I don't know if you guys want to do that. I guess we could not do it.
I mean, yeah. Let's decide that now. Let's maybe be able to continue on the campaign that this is setting up and get a little bit further ahead in working on that.
So I guess the question is, how far back do we want the events of what just happened to be?
I don't think I want them to like. I'd love to see like NPCs that we know. If
sure.
we run across them, you know. So I don't want like 100 years later kind of thing.
Yeah, because then only the freaking gnomes will be there.
Yeah.
That's all you need, baby.
Oh,
All you need, baby.
Oh,
Okay.
can we just have a quick recap? How many years has this like been? Right, like we did time passes a few times.
I think around 10.
Yeah, I think it's just been a few years each time, if I'm
Talk was
remembering correctly.
Talk was a kid, right? And then became.
Yeah, Talk was a kid and grew up, and Honeywell was like a young cop, and then now is a middle-aged like socialite. So I would have put it more at like 30 years past.
Wait, Talk is about to die if you. Talk is dead if you
Yeah,
do
but
that.
No,
Talk
I'm saying
wasn't there for the first cross. Remember, Talk wasn't there
Yeah.
for the first crossroad. She didn't come in till the second one.
Okay.
yeah. So I'd say Honeywell was like 22 at the start and ended at like 59.
Just say like maybe 5 years pass before we start, or 5. Yeah, 5 or 6.
So that means Talk is a very old little gnome.
Talk was a kid.
Yeah, but they have
Oh.
like a 40 years lifespan.
I don't think that's necessarily.
Yeah, I thought you were in your 20s. I mean, 5 years passed. You still have 10 years to go or whatever, 10
I
plus
get it.
years.
Talk like this now, Eve. Face it.
Okay. No, that works. I'm cool with that. I mean, Matt's gonna have to do Talk's voice anyway if we run into her, so not my problem.
Yeah,
Yep.
it says in the not this matters too much, but it says in the thing they live
Yeah.
to 60 albums live to 60 years.
Yeah.
So that's plenty of time.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That works.
So if 5 more years pass, then like the annual fairs only happened 5 times, so it's still kind of new and fresh, and the restaurant scene is still just like blossoming up, right? So that's kind of cool.
I want to be enough time that doesn't feel like it's right after, but like not so much that maybe it feels too remote.
Like we've established ourselves into the new vibe.
Yeah.
A vibe. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
The vibe.
Okay.
And then the question I want to know, which I don't know if we'll get an answer to today or not, but how do the events, like where does this fit in the timeline of the middling world that we know and
Oh,
love?
I'm absolutely not telling you that. Right
I know. I just
Yeah.
want to leave the viewers with like a question.
They
on
wouldn't
that.
really. They wouldn't really.
Yeah.
Yeah. They wouldn't have any reference point for that.
Well, that's too bad.
Where
In my
does this
mind, they do.
In the campaign that we've played, not streamed, do you know? Yeah.
Hey, we streamed
I-
some of it.
I am gonna have to. I've been fucking around with one of the parties that we play with, and they've been playing in different parts of the world that use different calendars, so they literally don't know where the campaign falls, including the one they're playing right now. But I guess when we're using a calendar that's SF, as in since the founding of Parsa, you probably know what year it is at the beginning of the campaign. But I don't have that for you yet. I got to mess around with some timeline stuff.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Man,
Dedicated,
Yeah.
patient, and very good looking. Honestly, pretty hot viewers. Thank you for watching our game here. Again, we are setting up for a game of Dungeons and Dragons that will be starting this upcoming September, the year of the Great Pantheon 2023 in our worlds. You should listen to that. You should follow us on social media, because eventually we're going to be posting on that to tell you what's happening. It's going to be good.
Tables
You have
Edge Games, people.
Tables Edge Games.
We have the
The
link in
edge of the
our
table.
Twitch bio also, so for easy access.
It's on the edge. It's right there.
The Edge.
You got
the
it.
Edge.
The edge. The edge.
You're all great. Thank you for watching. And we will see you next time on the greatest live play you've ever seen.
Thank you so much, people.
Thank you.
Bye.